Yes, it is time already. We are back in pre-KvK because 1981 is a first pop kingdom. Thank goodness, because I would be bored otherwise. But we are going to go over my account, general thoughts on where I stand and where I want to be at the end of this KvK, as well as go over our official allies and enemies of this KvK, as Diplo was just wrapped up maybe 24 hours ago. So it's going to be a really fun one. I'm excited. I'm really, really looking forward to it. But without stalling too much, let's get into it. All right, so let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, this is a new camera angle. I'm trying it out, and the reason why I'm trying it out is if you look behind me, there's my closet, but what's more important is that my pull-up bar is right there. And if you're a common viewer of the stream, then you will actually know that if you come in and you are a new member, I will do 5 pull-ups, and people were always questioning me, so I've changed the camera angle. Let me know if you like it down in the comments below. But it is time. So if we go ahead and look at our pre-KvK ranks, you can see that I am coming in at a whopping 917, and 1981 is really representing, coming in last in pre-KvK. Now, this is no stress. We actually don't participate in pre-KvK. We tell our members not to, because we believe that your AP is better spent on barbarians in KvK, whether that be 5 marching, chaining, or just in general KvK barb forts. You guys know me, I chain all the time, so all this AP needs to go towards chaining in KvK, or else I just run out and then I can't get top 20, and it's actually just worse to spend it on Marauders than chaining in KvK anyway. So nothing to stress over. We might train a little bit, but I don't expect anything inside the top 6. But if we go ahead here and look at our allies and enemies, I actually have this nice little graph that I'm going to pull up for you right now. This is what we decided on for the official KvK allies. And if you were watching my stream maybe a few days ago when we first got our matchmaking results, then this is actually what I suggested and what I thought might happen. This is the only way that every single camp here gets a fight, and what we believe would give 1981 the hardest fight going into it. Now, there was another option. It was going to be us, which is the bottom left, Daybreak camp partnered with Greenwood, which is right to our right. We thought that might have been fun as well, but being that the size of stratagems, King's Lane is so large, I think that personally, the deficit would have just been too much to overcome. We would obviously have been busy with fire, and you're asking Greenwood then to essentially take on a 3v1. And while the 2 camps on the right, let's be honest here, are not the strongest camps, I do think that just the number of players would have been too much for Greenwood to handle, and thus it would have been almost an automatic loss. And so we decided to go with this version. Now, if you look on paper, the stats, if you just do the simple math, it's a very even KvK. I will stress that, and I'm not making excuses here, but I will stress that when you look at the players individually and kind of, the top end, especially the whales, you can see the vast differences between both our enemies and our allies. Now, we, with fire, are pretty much mirrors of each other. We do have a little bit more KP and power, but as far as potential, I mean, either one of us could end up winning either zone if we squared off in a 1v1. Now, if you're just drawing the comparisons, if you draw Earth Camp, which is 1253 and 2414, versus the Greenwood Camp, which is right to our right, I do think that Greenwood takes that edge, and pretty significantly. The KP for Greenwood is probably lower than their actual punch indicates, they are probably stronger than their KP indicates. Let me say that and clarify that, because they are pretty young. 3143 has not lost a KvK, if I remember correctly. I had some friends who played against them in my last KvK, and they are obviously very strong, and naturally, being a younger kingdom, their KP number is not going to be that high. So I think that they obviously will put up a fantastic fight. We're going to have a great Zone 7 against both Fire and Greenwood, and I think that is going to be really hard. And then obviously Earth Camp is going to do their best to distract fire, while we do our best to either push or hold against Greenwood. So now we can drop forts in that zone, so I'm pretty sure Kingsland entry is secured if we play it correctly, but I think that it's going to be hard, and I am really looking forward to it. On the right side of the map, I do apologize to our friends in Wind and Water. They're really not the strongest camps, and no offense to them at all, but their 1v1 in the right side really will not have lasting impacts on the KvK that's going to go on in Kingsland. They might build some territory and obviously have a few fighters there, but for being almost 40 billion power and 150 billion kill points per kingdom, let's be real, into the day 2, day 3, they might be fielding like 10 or 15 players, which it happens. In my perfect world, there would have been a KvK where everyone was kind of at the level that both Fire, Greenwood, and Daybreak are this KvK. I think that would have been awesome, would have been a lot of fun, but it just didn't work out that way. So what are my expectations for the KvK? Well, this is why I'm saying that I'm excited, because 1981 needs a hard KvK. We've had 2 relatively easy KvKs back to back where we've kind of just steamrolled our opponents, and no faults to them either. Like the matchmaking really just wasn't fair, and the way that the allies turned out, it was just kind of too easy and predictable. Now, this one, I would give us maybe like a 30-35% chance to come away victorious, and I think that that's good. I think that 1981, again, needs a hard KvK. Our players are restless. I mean, personally, I think that if we took an easy KvK in this one, we would actually lose more players than we would otherwise if we had lost, this upcoming KvK with a really great performance, right? I think that 1981 needs to start performing up to expectations, and if we say that we're a really strong camp and kingdom, then we have to prove it, and this is how we prove it. So, maybe I am overzealous with how well I think 1981 will do. Hopefully they don't prove me wrong, but we've got a certain strategy that I think that we're going to go into this with, and I think that it could work, and if it could work, then we can win KvK, and I'm really looking forward to it. And leading into that, we're going to go into my goals. So without stalling, last KvK, I got about 2.2 billion kill points. I set my record for 130 million kills. And that was in what most of you guys would call, quote unquote, an easy KvK. This one, now I don't have a ton of speed ups, but obviously this number is going to go up as I chain in KvK. This one, if I get anything less than 3 billion kill points, I will be pretty disappointed in myself. I think that it's time for not only 1981, but it's time for me to really show what I've got. And you can see in the top right, I have done my farming. And yes, it is farming. Before I get any accusations, I've got all these farms. You can see I just did a big resource transfer. And you might be asking, how do I have so many resources? Well, I have a farm guide that you can go check out on the channel. I'll go ahead and link that in the description, or maybe I'll make a tag above me, but either one. Now, what I do mostly is I do barb forts in KvK and out of KvK. I spend my action points, and honestly, that adds up a tremendous amount. I also won a few bets for KP in my kingdom, so that helped too. But going back to this, you can see that I also train a lot of troops on my farm. My farms are pretty fat. I think that infantry will be the meta. I am planning on hopefully around 1.5 to 2 million infantry on all of my farms. Obviously, I am the infantry player. I do have Gorgo and Attila. That is the go-to KvK in the stratagems, or the go-to KvK. The go-to garrison in this KvK, which is stratagems. There we go. English is a little difficult this late at night. But I think that if I can garrison and fill my own garrison, the value that I have as a downtime player just skyrockets. And I think that if we're going to win this KvK, we're going to have to be both draining and obviously getting drained, but I don't want to drain my main. I want to drain the farms, right? That should be everybody's philosophy going into KvK. So, that is the goal. Now, as far as my actual commanders, right? We got to go over the commanders. We got to go over the gear. We got to go over my next intentions and what my goals are for where I want to be by the time the fighting starts. So Guan Yu, right? This is the main inf set. Really nice set. Armaments looking really good. As far as kills go, we're at about 57 million kills on Guan Yu. He's done me very well. Nevsky set. All right, doing okay. Not my main focus, but all right. And there are the armaments, the kills, holy. I've used a lot of Nevsky, huh? 75 million kills. That looks pretty good. All right, Zhuge Liang. We've got this set. It's pretty standard armament set. Looking pretty good. I haven't changed this in a little while. Now we've got these kills. What are these kills out? Yeah, 40. Came out a little bit later, but that makes sense. 40 million. Now, what are the barb kills out? Yeah, 5.9 billion. That's funny. Okay, so hopefully we get some more barb kills on that. Liu Che gear. Now this will be Gorgo Liu Che or William Wallace Liu Che. We'll see what, when the release of William Wallace does come out. But this is the secondary imp set. This is the Smite set. Now, I do have, if you go in here, I do have an invincible waiting to be put on this armament. I haven't put it on yet just because there is a chance that I get an upgrade by the time KvK fighting starts, and I really don't want to waste an invincible because I will probably be transmute stoning this, right, and resetting it and getting some better stats if I do end up putting a legendary inscription on it. Now, my last current set, oh no, sorry, that was only 4. So I've got my second archer set, which is this. Again, you can see the level 5 boots. You know, I've got level 5 boots on all my inf and archer marches because I believe that that's very important, right? I love March speed. It's my favorite set in the game. So this is the secondary archer set, almost full iconic. This is the secondary set for my whatever armaments for archers. I just got this hunter, put it on this bad boy, looking really, really good. And now my last set of current gear that I have is currently on my Trajan for Canyon. This will be on my Huo, so don't get it twisted. This will be going on the Huo, and these are the armaments for the Huo. Now I gotta re-roll this bad boy eventually, but again, no stones, and I don't even know if this is worth using a crystal on, because you will see that this is, where is it? Probably what I'm gonna re-roll. I tried to re-roll this. God, this is how I got the armament, by the way. I got it with Boiling Blood, 3.2 archer stats. I'm trying to re-roll it for more archer stats. I did 10 re-rolls of double, and I got not a single archer stat. So that was pretty brutal. Now, you might say, well, that's only 6 marches. Kane, you've been saying you're moving up to 7. Yes, I am. So my 7th march is going to be XY with Belly Prime. I'm going to make use of him. I'm going to make use of him because right now he's been my worst investment to date. I have 200,000 kills on him. It's been rough. I only used him for swarming last KvK, and this KvK, I'm going to use my XY with Belly. This is my tertiary cav stats. It's fine. I mean, Breaker is nice, but, you know, you can see that it's starting to get a little bit messy as we get farther down into the, the third cav. Ooh. Anyway, and as far as gear goes, I have no gear on him. So, yikes. I do have this pendant. This is something that I mistakenly crafted, you know, 2.5 years ago, but you live and you learn. Now, the gear that is going to be on XY is obviously the standard. Well, I'm just going to go back into my Trajan here. It's going to be the standard setup. So I'm going to get all this gear, except obviously I'll have a pendant, and I will probably have a web. And I'm saving this for a live stream, so hopefully you guys check it out. I have a ton of material saved up. I don't think I have nearly enough to craft the whole thing, because I believe the entire set together costs like 700 legendary materials. I've already got the pendant of the Eternal Night, so that's minus 120. So 580 legendary materials, something along those lines. And I don't have quite that much, but I might have to throw a little bit of epics in there. Hopefully I get it to a fieldable point by the time Kingsland or past 7 or zone 7 mistakenly does occur. So that's where we're at as far as the account goes. Resources, yeah, they're not going to be a problem this KvK. We went over it already. You know, I've got a ton in the top right. I have even more in the bags. I will be farming and doing forts during KvK. So really that is unlimited speed ups. I enter now with about 900 days of universals and healing combined. Now, I went into last KvK with 330, and I managed to get 2.3 billion kill points. So, you know, as far as standards go, there's no reason for me, honestly, not to get at least 3 billion kill points. Now, again, we have the Invincible Inscription. We've got a few of these, which are less important, but a few Transmutation Stones. Hopefully we can make like a really fun stream. I did go ahead and buy all the bundles in advance for the tech that I'm going to buy. You know, my spending has gone up as far as crystal tech goes in the last few months because that's really the best way to spend on my account now. My account's strong enough. I should be garrisoning. I should be fielding with 6 to 7. My investments should now go towards real-time strategy and power as opposed to long-term investments like armament bundles and geared up bundles, right? That's how that goes. So that's where the account is. We're looking good. I'm feeling good. I'm hoping, you know, that 3 bill plus market is really what we're going for. If this can say 15.5 or 0.6, I guess, I'll be happy. Obviously, we're going for #1 ranking in the KvK. I think that'll be great. Would be an awesome screenshot, you know, for the profile. Got to get that going. And yeah, you can see that I put my allies and enemies up here as well. So what are you guys thinking? Are you excited to watch? Because I'm excited to play it. I really am. And I don't want to keep repeating myself, but it is about time that 1981 had a really hard KvK. And I have much respect for the camp enemies as well as allies who we will be fighting with. It's going to be a blast. So if you are going to be around in the streams, I do appreciate you stopping by. I'm sure I'll be live streaming. I do have a normal job, unfortunately, so if there's something that I can't make, you know, I won't be streaming, but almost every single time I'll be fighting on my computer, I will also be live, and you know me, I might have a drink in hand. It'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time. So anyway, guys, take care. I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace.